Hey guys, this is Donnie and Sandra, and we are visiting a really neat cemetery, a very historic cemetery, a gigantic cemetery. This is the Oakdale Cemetery in Wilmington. This thing is ginormous. I mean, really big. We've been here several times, and we decided to share this with you. And we're going to share some fun facts about this place and show you. We went and picked up a map. This is where we parked here. You can drive around this cemetery. Here's the main gate to get in right here. If I can find a good GPS picture of the location, I will show that on the screen for you. And but we're going to share some things and different aspects about it. This is not your typical cemetery, and so there are a lot of different sites and stuff like that. Now Sandra's got a map right here, so this is the map here, and then here's the main gate. This is where we came in at. So this will let you know the size of this place, and so it is enormous. I mean, really big. And so, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to get in the car and we're going to drive around. And like I said, there's you can visit this. I think I'll have the hours show up on a picture on the screen for you. I think it's like 8 to 5 or something like that, Monday through. I think, is it every day? I'm not really for sure. But again, I'll have the hours pop up on the screen. That way you can see it. But this place is really cool. And this is, even though we come here just about every year at Carolina Beach, this is one of the locations we like to come through and visit. We decided to park in a little area here, and this is the view that we have, and I'm wanting to share just a few things with you on what we've been able to find out about this very unusual cemetery here. The Oakdale Cemetery is the first rural cemetery in the state of North Carolina. The very first rural cemetery. Oakdale is designed in the picturesque Victorian mode associated with rural cemeteries. The first burial was in 1855, though some grave markers will show dates well before the cemetery was even created. And this is due to the moving of about 80 graves from St. James and dozens of plantations. And Oakdale Cemetery is considered an outdoor museum, as you're going to find out, and arboretum. All right, here's a section here, the Hebrew Cemetery. It's got a date on it, open March 6th. I wonder if that 5615, if that, I don't know, is that a Hebrew calendar maybe, on the Hebrew calendar? It very well could be, but 1855 is the date, I guess, for us. And so I am not sure. What we have found is these little rocks. If you'll notice, right here on this marker here, see these little stones here? Well, that means something. And they've got like a little pot of them over here. And so, like, when we were over at Southport, we saw coins. Yeah. And it had a kind of a military background. But what were you able to find out about these stones?
Okay, the Jewish believed that placing stones on a grave would keep the soul down in this world. Some people find comfort in this. Another interpretation suggests that stones will keep demons and golems from getting into the graves. Flowers, though beautiful, will eventually die, and the stones remain. So
wow, that's cool. So they've got like a little pot full of them. Here's something new that I didn't know that anybody had done. American flag final resting place. And this was done by Eagle Scout Troop 232, June 14th, 2017. And so I didn't know they did that. This is the yellow fever. And it says here, victims of the yellow fever epidemic, Wilmington, North Carolina, 1862. And this ain't like a mass grave, is it?
I don't know. We'll have to look that.
I mean, that's a lot of people.
This is what it says. In 1862, Wilmington, North Carolina was hit with the yellow fever epidemic that caused half the city's population to flee. While the disease outbreak seems forgotten today, it was devastating at the time when the Civil War was already underway. So we found out yellow fever came over from Africa. It was caused by, they finally figured it out, it was caused by mosquitoes. And then they finally did come up with a vaccine for it, but all these people perished. And in Southport, we saw graves where people had died because of the yellow fever.
Yeah.
So let's walk up.
And it's quite, I mean,
See what this says.
I mean, it was quite a, I guess it would hit them, and it would have, did you say what?
It caused their livers to shut down. That's what caused the yellowing of their skin, which is why they called it the yellow fever.
Okay.
So,
all right.
It's a communal burial site of approximately 400 people who died of the yellow fever during Wilmington's epidemic between September and the frost of November 1862. So once the frost hit, then the mosquitoes were killed off.
Yeah.
And they didn't have to worry about it. Few yellow fever victims' burials are marked with headstones. So they're buried. It's not like a mass grave, but they're buried out here, but not named.
Okay.
So that's why the Boy Scout troop did that little thing.
So Wilmington's population, black, white, was approximately 10,000. About half of the population fled the city to avoid the epidemic. Of the 1,505 reported cases, 654 died of yellow fever. Man, I mean, it wiped through this place. I mean, it's amazing. Huh. These trees with the moss, I guess that's what that is, hanging off the branches. You can see it in the background way over here. A lot of these trees have it hanging off of it. It just adds to the creepiness of the cemetery. But let's go ahead and go through a little bit more facts. The residents used mid-19th cemeteries as parks, places to stroll, enjoy nature, and the company of friends. This custom goes all the way back to ancient Egypt, where in Alexandria, tombs were a place of where families were gathered. They would gather and picnic and socialized, keeping alive the shared memories of friends and family.
I think I read that somewhere about Walt Disney out in California, that big.
Yes.
That big.
Yes.
The guy that designed that cemetery made it for those purposes back then. People, that was like a gathering place where people could go on picnics. You'd have a date at the cemetery. You'd go have like family reunions and stuff. And
that's actually from what I understand, that's where Walt Disney got his idea on his park.
Yeah.
Was from a cemetery that had gotten a lot of people and people gathered. And from what we understand, well, at least from what I understand, Walt Disney set up the amusement park like the cemeteries.
Yeah.
He copied it. That's just a really wild.
He was friends with the guy that designed the cemetery.
Yeah. All right, here he is, David Brinkley, born July 10th, 1920, and he died June 12th, 2003. And so, now, David Brinkley was an American newscaster for NBC and ABC in a career lasting from 1943 to 1997. The online Britannica lists him as an American broadcast journalist and a commentator. And so that's David Brinkley. And so
it says right here on his stone, television shows you what it was, what it looked like, how it sounded. I take some pleasure in having some small part in the beginning. David Brinkley.
Yeah. I gotta admit, the television is such a the media in general is such a powerful thing. I mean, you could literally form and shape society by it. And so, I mean, if you want something to go around the world and sell real fast, put it on television. So, and make a big deal out of it, and then everybody would be buying it. But it's for you guys that don't know who David Brinkley was, that's who he was. And I grew up with him.
Yep.
And so I know exactly who he is. And the name is Morin. Morin.
Yes.
Morin. This one must be an old one. See if I can get my hand in there.
Don't drop your phone, you'll be in trouble.
Oh, if I drop my phone, we're really in bad shape.
You just never know what you're going to see up here.
Oh, I know.
We see something new every
I
time.
bet you that. I wonder if they get bats in here. Okay, this grave right here is the first grave
Yes.
that was put out here. And
the
what do you
fir-
what
it's-
information do you have?
It's for Annie DeRosett. It's the first internment in Oakdale Cemetery in February of 1855. She was 6 years old. She was the daughter of Dr. Armand J. DeRosett. He was the first president of Oakdale Cemetery.
Wow. There you go, guys. The very first one that was put out here. And we're on the back side of this thing, and a kind of little raised area. And again, very, very interesting. The things that you can learn out here. It's not just a cemetery, but it's like they said, it's like a museum, very educational, because there's so many different sections with different that is connected with certain parts of the history. But the last little factoid I would like to share with y'all is that in 2017, these are the numbers that we got from a 2017 count, at least 20,000 people have been buried at Oakdale Cemetery. Oakdale is still an active cemetery and has nearly 100 funerals every year. It has burial space. Get this. This is what amazes me. It has burial space for generations to come. Now, we did see this little area right here. I guess that's for ashes.
Yeah, it's for urns.
Urns and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
That is about, I think, the second or third one that we have found that's not like that, but they got these little places you could put the urns at. And so, but unless...
Those are new since the last time we've been there.
Yeah, those are new, but I just can't imagine them having burial space for generations to come. And so, but other than that, guys, we hope you've enjoyed this. If you really like something just really educational, or if you're just weird like us and you like to visit old cemeteries, check this place out. I mean, they got a map. It's free to the public, and you can come and drive your car down here. And so if you do have it to a liking, you can have yourself a picnic. And so, but other than that, guys, again, we are staying at Carolina Beach State Park at the time of this video. And so for my RV people, check out Carolina Beach State Park and some of our reviews. Great place to stay, cheap, very affordable. You guys take care. Bye-bye.